All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great weekend. Let me just make sure you guys can hear me okay in the chat room. All right. I think now you should be able to hear me. Just want to get a quick audio check. We haven't done this in a bit, so I want to make sure everyone can hear me good. How you doing,
Haircut.
Norm?
I'm doing great. How are you, bud?
Good, good. Okay, excellent. All right, thank you guys. Just want to say real quick, thank you everyone from the community for all the messages you guys sent me. I really appreciate it. My family was going through a tough time, but really appreciate you guys send me those messages. I read them all to my mom, and she was very thankful. So thank you for that, guys. With that said, welcome. Let's bring in this another week into trading here in January. Let's get into it, getting back into the swing of things. A lot of news today, Norm. What's the latest and greatest on the SPY? Let's jump into that, and then we can see what we have for this morning's gappers list.
Yeah, man. After hitting records last week, closing at records last week, we've got this pullback. Qs are down just shy of 0.8%. SPY is roughly in line with that. Pulling back a little bit more as we speak. It's been a hell of a ride up the first week of January. So not too shocked to see a little bit of a pullback here. Underlying current, obviously some political unrest last week. On top of that, we've got some of the speculative items like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is down, it's 7.6% as of this moment this morning, but it's down just shy of a quarter of its value since over the weekend. Couple reasons for that. We don't really trade Bitcoin here that much, so we won't get into it, but just know that's out there. Everything. So a huge chunk of that red on our gap down is because of that. We've got other corona variants popping up that are going on in the news, the political unrest. And so let's see where it takes us this morning. SPY is looking really weak as this moment as it's dropped through S4 and going downward. All the sectors are down with the exception of healthcare, which isn't too surprising. The other thing we've got are treasury yields. The 10 and 30 year have bumped up. The 10 years above. Last time I looked, it was a little bit above 100 basis points, which that could cause some slowing of growth if that continues. It was quite a move last week to the upside. So, no economic data today, and let's just see how this plays out.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Norm. All right, guys, let's jump into it. Let's see what we have here in our gappers list. We got quite a bit on both sides. I'm going to make sure that this is actually live. Let's check here. Yeah, we are live. All right, so we have quite a bit here, both green and red. Let's go ahead and remove what we have in our column here, and so we'll make some room here, and we will get started. All right, let's jump into what's gapping up this morning. We'll do the top 5. I know Neo is in here, and that has been, I was looking at that earlier, has been incredible what this thing has done over the last couple of days here. So we'll jump into that. Definitely one in play so far this morning, up 10%, 14 million shares traded right now. So pretty decent size there. I'm going to add that in there as one of our top ones this morning. We have BNGO. This one is here. Pre-market action looking okay. Daily's a little bit wacky. I think I remember this last week or the week before. And again, it wasn't the best trading intraday stock. Not sure what it has done over the last couple of days. The daily chart still looks very crappy. Norm, I'm not sure if you guys been looking at this one or not.
Yeah. A few people have been trading. A few people, I have not touched it, but a few people have traded it over the last few days in the room. So,
okay, all right,
it's made some wild moves, that's for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, very active this morning. 11 million shares right now. It is 33% up. So we'll put it as a possible. The only reason I'm doing that, guys, is because again, I have not seen the daily. Also, you can tell here that I'm sorry, I have not seen the intraday action, but the daily seems a little wacky to have as a main one on the list. So let's look at LLY this morning. Here we
you skipped over Mezzo.
Oh, excuse me, Meso. Oh yeah, let's go back to Meso here. So Meso right now, guys, again, this daily looks pretty bad. Pre-market action right now looks active. 62% up, 2.4 million shares traded right now. Again, big pop, but I'm not a fan of this daily here, especially the volume, very light for the most part. The pre-market actions was got it going on for this one right now. Flow is 94 million. Maybe a possible because the pre-market does look good. And but aside from that, this daily is not great. So we'll see what comes out of that. Take a look at Neo. We looked at. It's definitely in play. LLI. Horrible pre-market action, guys. You see how gappy it is here. Again, this stock is up 13%. The spread also pretty bad here as well. So you want to be careful with that. You're getting about 50 cents plus at times with not a whole lot of liquidity. That's going to get better as the market opens. But for right now, again, it's just not looking all that good at the moment. They definitely got some news. No, anything going on this one? Up
Yeah,
13%.
they've got some data from a couple of drug trials that's popped them up this morning. I haven't paid a ton of attention to it because, frankly, it's not the greatest stock to trade,
Yeah, yeah.
in my book at least, for me. So I didn't spend a ton of time on it.
Yeah, you can tell here in the daily it's not the best trading stock by far. Let's move on down. Let's do GameStop. GameStop is up today 8%, 182,000 shares traded right now. Pre-market is very active. I kind of like what I'm seeing here on GameStop. It is not the best type trading stock. We know it doesn't trade all that well. We'll put it up here today because again, their pre-market looking very good this morning. All right, we'll do one more and then we'll scroll down see if there's any good ones that we can put on this list. SRPT. This
Just a
one is
reminder on
yeah.
GameStop on that
Yeah.
GME that the short float is insanely high.
Oh, yes, yes. Whoa, 145%. I mean, that's a lot. So that makes it very interesting, guys. Again, Norm has explained a couple of times why this becomes interesting. It could be possibly, a good one to watch because of this number here. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. I have it here as possible. We might move this up if things keep going well. Pre-market looking very good this morning so far. Well, not great, right? This here, you got a couple of candles are not ideal. But hopefully that gets better as we get into the pre-market here. SRPT, this is down 5%. Had a big drop. Looks like Friday with some good volume. Today, not doing a whole lot as far as pre-market action. Their daily seems to not get a whole lot of volume. So I'm not sure what was the news that caused this drop. Today, possible continuation, maybe. Not a great stock. We'll put it on here as a possible. Might not stay there for our open.
I'll
All
just
right.
say on that SRPT, it moves wildly. It moves a lot. And I actually took a small trade on it. I think it was
Mm-hmm.
Friday when it was in play last week on that big drop.
Mm-hmm.
It is a white knuckle trade. I be careful on that is all I'll say.
Yeah, you
It
could
moves
tell
a
this
lot.
thing. Yeah, this thing can move,
I
especially
think I made a
candles.
few bucks on it, but it was
Uh-huh.
more like I got out of this because I didn't even want to mess with that beast.
Yeah, yeah. No, this is a dangerous one for sure. We'll put it as a possible, but if we find something better, we'll definitely push that one over. All right, scrolling down here, guys. I don't see. Let's just quickly look at it. Here's Ride. Go EV, nothing there. BIBB, nothing there. VLDR, this could be a hit or miss. We traded this plenty of times in the past. Right now, I'm not seeing anything great pre-market action, so we'll skip it. And we have SKLZ. This is not looking good either. So at the bottom here, we're not seeing anything great unless there's any kind of news that can make these more interesting. I don't see anything there. Let's do the top five on the gapping down. APDN. This one has a horrible daily, guys. I had a big day on Friday. Pre-market action, although it has volume 721, although you're dropping 23% here. This doesn't look good. Doesn't look like it trades well in the intraday. And I'm looking at some nastiness from Friday. I mean, this does not look good at all. So we'll skip on this. FTFT. Now this one, I personally do not like this one, but I know a lot of traders have watched this one and done very well. So let's keep an eye on it. Let's put FTFT here for now. We'll come back to it. Here's Riot. As we know, guys.
Let's just say here,
Yeah.
Bitcoin, like I said earlier, and you were about to say, so that's
Mm-hmm.
covering FTFT, Riot, Mara, BTBT, Ebon, Can, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So the number of these that are on this list are
Yeah, these are all in that category, all down pretty nice today in the double digits. I think you did mention that some time ago. This is also part of that as well. So yeah, guys. I mean, out of all these, Mara has been pretty decent, and Rye for the most part. If you want to watch this sector, you can watch those two are pretty good. The other ones are okay. FTFT, we've seen some pretty good trades out of the community from that one as well. So again, just pick your poison there. Me personally, I think Mara is usually the one that trades somewhat decent. It has a really good price range at $22. So I'll take a look at that for now. And again, in having Mara here, I'll keep in mind any of the other Bitcoin type stocks, right? So we'll take a look at that. All right, coming on down here, guys. So I'm gonna skip all these 5 or 6 or so. CLSK, that's not looking good. That's a horrible pre-market action. NCTY doesn't look good neither. Not a great pre-market action. Not a great daily. KPTI also not looking great neither. So not a whole lot looking on here. But let's go down a little more because I see Twitter coming up. And Twitter could be good at times. I do like the pre-market action on Twitter. They're down 8%. This is really should be will be higher, but since you got all this Bitcoin action here in the double digits, kind of taken away from some of the ones down here that actually look pretty good. I like Twitter right now, so I'm adding Twitter to my list. That's a good one. Any news?
One of the few that oh yeah. Well, they banned the president on Friday. There's been a purge of users over the weekend and banning speech. So and I'm not going to get political on this one way or the other, but I think this is going to come back to bite them when they start banning a bunch of people in mass from their platform. I think that this is going to prompt something. I don't know if it's this week or next year or at some point, but it really a number of people have had issues and voiced concerns over this in the last several days specifically, but it's been going on for a long time.
Yeah, and again, we saw some of that last year as well, but it's becoming a lot more obvious and concerning now. So, CBAT here, pre-market action is okay. They got some volume down 7.8. The daily is a little bit off the chain. Now we've seen this one before, guys. It doesn't trail that well. It is not a low flow, but kind of sitting right on there, 20.8 million. So kind of scraping that low flow type stock. It doesn't move like one. Yeah, I'm not gonna add it now. I think we can find something better. Here's Plug. Now Plug has done some pretty good stuff for us in the past. Right now they're down 6.1. I think this could be interesting. Their pre-market looks good. Their daily has had a nice couple of good days here in the last week. So maybe a possible pullback or continuation. We'll see. But I do like the way Plug looks right now. Let's throw that on there. Fuel Cell is one that many of you guys like. I know that because I've seen some really amazing trades out of this one. Right now, 981,000. They are down 5.5. Their daily looks good. I like their daily here. So I like the pop here. I like the drop we're getting. I think this is worth taking a second look at today.
Hey, guys.
Yep.
I do my best. I mean, obviously that Twitter news, there's no way not to mention politics one way or the other. I try to do it without any opinion involved in that. Please keep politics out of the chat room. You will be banned for the day. We have banned people permanently for talking about politics in here. So obviously, whenever politics comes up, you're going to anger half of the people there are in the room. One way or the other. So just all I'm saying is if you're talking about news and the fact that they did something, that's one thing. To start to get into bringing up sides of a conversation and trying to talk about some kind of political position, you're going to cross the line. So I appreciate it. I love politics. I talk about it outside the room all the time, but this is not the place for it. Thank you.
Yeah, fully agree, guys. Let's keep it neutral there. All right, that is what we have, guys. We have some other ones down here, but we're not going to go through all of these. Norm, anything you like this morning so far?
No, not really, man.
Okay. All right, well, let's
Boeing.
take a look.
Did you look at Boeing?
Oh, yes, yeah. I saw the text from
Boeing had a plane. They had a plane crash in Indonesia. It was not a Max. I believe it was a Dash 500. So it was not one of the Max. It was a 737. I haven't heard the reasoning on it, but they are getting hit this morning on that news.
Yeah, they're down 3.5. So yeah, we'll add this on here, guys. That's going to be active today as well with that news. So we'll see what's going on there. And let's take a look at what you guys have. Let's start here in the chat room. Let's go with, all right, who do we have? What do you guys, all right, so BA we do have, thank you. That's on the list. Thank you, David, as well. What else? What else you guys like this morning? PLTR, let's take a look at that. All right, PLTR, what do we have here? Their pre-market action is okay, not great. They got volume, but they're not doing much as far as the actual pre-market action itself and the price action. Their daily has been interesting quite a bit. As you know, they had this level of support here that we've been watching for some time. They broke out of that 2 weeks ago, and they're just kind of just chopping around in that area. So yeah, it could be interesting, maybe a possible. The issue with PLTR is it can be very aggressive. So you want to be careful on this stock. And I mean, we've seen how this thing can open up and drop in a matter of minutes, seconds, really hard. So be mindful of that. If you catch yourself on the wrong side of this trade, pull out immediately. Do not hold on to this one. Do not hold on to anyone, but definitely not this one. CCL, let's take a look at that. CCL, I like the daily on CCL. Pre-market action is pretty dead right now, but I do like the daily because we're holding on to this level of support here. That can create a nice bounce, or if we can break out of that, maybe a nice drop here. Yeah, it's a good possible. Worth taking a second look at for sure. Thank you for those two. Let's take a look at Baidu. Now, Baidu's pre-market action looks amazing today. 868,000 shares. They're up 1.6. That's a good one. Their daily's also looking very interesting. They are not the best intraday trading stock, but I do like what I'm seeing on both charts today. I think Baidu could at least be a possible. We'll take a second look at it as well. Let's take a look at Apple. What have they been up to? Apple's pre-market very active, 1.5. They're down 1.4 right now. Their daily, okay, not doing a whole lot, but their pre-market is pretty nice today. Let's take a look at that later. As well here, we looked at Riot, guys. So I have Mara here. When you think of Mara, think of Riot, think of these other ones we talked about, CAN, EBON, what's the other one, BTBT, FT. These are all part of that Bitcoin, as Norm mentioned earlier. So I have Mara here, and I'm thinking about those other ones as well. I think Mara usually is the one that, for me, that seems to trade a little bit cleaner out of the group. So I have that on there. CCL had earnings or is having earnings, Bill? AMD, let's take a look at that one. AMD is not doing a whole lot, and who know who'll be watching this one, Peter, and thanks to Peter and Norm for covering for me last week. Really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Peter will probably be watching this one for sure. I don't see a whole lot right now, and volume is very light for AMD as well, so I'm not going to add it onto the list just yet. All right, what else we have here? All right, nice watch list, Jimmy. That's good. KT, Nvidia. And yeah, we did look at NEO as well. NVDA, let's take a look here. Nvidia, yeah, is active, up 1.3, 200,000 shares traded right now. Their daily has been pretty wild. I mean, look at this, just choppiness. So I like where they're sitting at here, although this daily is not great. They are above this area of, right below this area of resistance that has been a great resistance for some time here. So that could be interesting if we can get going here. Yeah, worth taking a second look at. We have a lot on here, but we'll make sure that list, we can fine tune that quite nicely here. BLOK, which is this one. This is not looking good, guys. Yeah, you don't have the volume. That's the one thing. And let's say you did have volume. This daily doesn't look great. You barely get volume on any given day, less than 1.2 million. So again, you don't want to be trading this. So be careful with that. Let's look at BB. BB, no, I don't see anything. Well, let me make sure we get the right charts here. BB. Okay, their pre-market is decent, 623,000. They're up 1.6. Their daily, we had this beautiful pop here on that one day with some news. From that, they haven't really done much. So pre-market is interesting, but I think we have better stuff on our list for right now.
You have looked at Nvidia. So NEO is up. You put NEO on the list automatically, which is understandable, but we did not discuss it. They had their NEO Day, Battery Day, whatever the hell they call it, over the weekend, and announced a sedan essentially to compete with Tesla. So that's kind of a new market because their other cars are a little bit sportier than that. So this, I think, is more of a mass market car for China. They also announced they're working with NVIDIA on self-driving capabilities. So that's a pop for NVIDIA as well.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so these two are pretty good. Yeah, we'll definitely move NVIDIA up based on that news. We already have NEO here. Again, we didn't quite talk about it like you said, but again, just the charts and everything look amazing for NEO right now with 16 million up, almost 11%. So looking pretty good there, guys. All right, let's take a look at Baba. I see a lot of you guys throwing that one out. Let's take a look here. Here's Baba. What do we have? And Baba pre-market's okay. They're down 2.5, 424,000 right now. I think they've been pretty interesting the last couple of days, putting in some really wide candles here on the daily. So you're going to get a lot of movement and activity out of that. So I think it's worth watching if you like this one, right? Baba Trade's a little bit different. It's one of those stocks that you got to be careful with. Their price action could be a little bit wild, so just be mindful of
Yeah.
that when you're watching this one, guys. Okay. All right, we're gonna stop here. I'm going to take a few from YouTube. Let's see what we got going on here. So Nvidia, we do have with Neo. Thank you for that. LMFA. What do we have there? This was more of a penny stock, guys. So it was sitting at 80 cents just last week. They had a big day on Friday. Yeah, I won't be watching this. These type of stocks usually do not have the best intraday trades for what we're looking for. So just be careful if you're going to be trading that one. I'm not even sure what the flow is, but just this price alone, it scares the crap out of me. All right, let's take a look at what else we have. Neo is good. Yeah, Neo's on our list. That's good. BNGO, we looked at this one earlier. BNGO, why didn't we keep it? Let's double check here. Their daily's out of whack. They got a good pre-market action. I'm not sure how the intraday has been. So actually, we have it as a possible here because they do have some incredible volume. The pre-market looks pretty good, up 28%. Their daily's the one that's out of whack. But Norm did mention a couple of members in the community did have some good trades out of this in the intraday last week. So we have it on here. We'll take a second look at it after we come back from announcements. TTCF. Let's take a look at that. Not looking good. Barely any volume and horrible. I mean, look at the trace on Friday. You don't want to trade anything that looks like this. This is pretty bad. And again, let's just not see anything great there. I think I skipped one here. SPXS. All right, so this looks like a buyout. Again, I'm not sure what's going on here. Well, not even a buy. I don't even have that much volume. But whatever it is, this is not something that's really tradable. Is this even a ticker? What is this? What kind of company is this? SP? Or is this like a index, a ETF? Oh, it's a ETF. Okay, so yeah, we really don't day trade these guys. But again, it's up now 2.6, but it's not really a stock you could probably trade. It's more of a fund. So I'm assuming the other ones are the same, Fernie. So we're gonna skip on those. WBA, they're just not great for intraday trading. WBA, not good there.
Well,
No volume.
they can
Yep.
be if that's what you specialize in.
Yes.
Just
Good
to
point. Good point.
clarify that, it's just
Yep.
not what we focus on.
Yep, exactly. Good point. Thank you, Norm. STPK, not looking good, guys. Just the pre-market's not there. For the most part, they don't seem to get great volume. GameStop, we do have DDD. Let's take a look at that.
DDD, man, you missed a wild few
Yeah,
sessions on DDD last week.
I could see here, man.
Yeah, you see that on the 7th. It was like $11 ish the day before. It ran all the way to 25. I mean, some people had a nice move, that
Yeah.
insane, essentially a little bit more than a double, and then a short off 25. The next day, it had that wild ride up to the 30s and back. I mean, that was insane.
Yeah, it looks like it was very clean too. Again, without seeing
It
the price
was.
action, it looks like this thing traded because usually have these move, and we've seen this move will happen in like 3 candles, which is horrible, right? Because you don't know when the pullback is coming. But this looked really clean. So I'm happy that you
Yeah.
guys took advantage of that. Great, man. Today we're getting a drop. We do have shares for short. It is on short selling restrictions. So yeah, you might as well watch this one, see what kind of action we get today out of it, since it's been trading so clean. All right, a couple of more. We'll do Facebook and SQ, and then we'll go over to announcements. So Facebook here, I like the drop on Facebook. Pre-market action is okay, 344. They're down 2.4. Did they have any news, Norm, or it's kind of like what's going on with Twitter affecting them,
Yeah.
or is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so
Primarily.
yeah, we'll throw Facebook on here, but Twitter's the one that's really in play today, guys. This one is again down 8.4, which is pretty big for Twitter, and they have some really good volume, 1.4. So I'd rather watch this one instead of Facebook. And then in watching Twitter, we can always think about the rest of the social media stuff. SQ has a nice drop today, 2.9, 135. Not a great pre-market action, but we've seen how SQ can trade very well. But lately, after it's been at this higher price range, it hasn't been an easy stock to trade. I have a lot on here, guys. I have quite a bit on our main list that looks good already, so I'm not going to add this one. But if you do like trading SKUs, that's something that you have been doing well at. Please keep that in your list. All right, guys, let's go over to our community announcements. And then today is Monday, so we will have Dr. Katz out right after that.
All right, guys. So a quick rundown. We've got Brian's swing trading session. He does 2:30 in the afternoons here in the chat room. He is on more days than just Monday since COVID and can't get out and about quite as much as he used to. But then you've got Carlos's onboarding class each and every Monday night live, 8 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday and Thursday at noon is Eamon's trade review in the classroom. We've got success webinars, 8 p.m. typically on Tuesday, special time this week because our presenter is in Europe so that she's not up in the middle of the night. We are, that'll be at 5 p.m. this week, but usually it's at 8. Psychology webinars, 8 p.m. typically, same deal there. Then you've got Thor's group mentorship session, 8 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays, and the closing bell show that we simulcast from the room to YouTube, 3:30 to 4:15 p.m. Eastern. All right, guys. Success webinar for this week. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. is going to be Dr. Gary Dayton talking about mental blind spots and how hidden habits in your decision making can affect your trading, how to overcome those. On the psychology front, Wednesday night, 5 p.m., as I mentioned, special time. We're going to have Kreda talking about mastering mental imagery to help improve peak trading performance. And Nate is going to be talking next week at 8 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday about how to get over your mistakes. If you want to participate in the member trade of the day, trade of the week, take a screenshot of your best trade of that day, mark it up. It should have entries and exits, of course. And then any commentary you can give to describe the trade, post it on Twitter, tag at Bearable Traders, at MikeB_BBT, and at NormBBT. Also use hashtags BBT Family, Day Trading, and Stock Market. We'll pick a trade of the day each day, and that'll be announced in the closing bell shown on Twitter. And then the team votes over the weekend for the trade of the week. That'll be announced on the Monday closing bell shown on Twitter as well. If you're watching us on YouTube, haven't been in the chat, you'd like to do so, use the promo code PREMARKET24. That will give you a discount off the intro membership, which is 1 week. It is 7 calendar days, 5 trading days, unless there's a market holiday. Does not auto renew or turn into any other kind of membership. It also gives you access to that onboarding class with Carlos every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern as well. Dr. Katz, good morning, sir. How are you?
Norm, my man, how are you today?
I am great. Thank you, sir. I hope you had a great weekend. You got a little snow down there in Austin, Texas.
We did. I prefer the 75 and sunny, but what are you going to do?
As do I. But you know what? It's Texas. So wait about 24 hours and you'll probably be back up and need your shorts and a tank top. So anyway, nevertheless, welcome back. Hope you had a great weekend. As I said, we're in the middle of this goal setting series that we're discussing. I believe this morning you're going to be talking about how to set and manage goals.
Yeah, I want to do that. But first, let me, because my bad last week, Norm, I know you mentioned a question that came up for a lot of people with their New Year's trading resolutions. And one of the things that people brought up was the whole question about going from sim to live. So I just wanted to spend 1 minute addressing that since I had forgot to do that yesterday. That's not an uncommon thing as a kind of a New Year's resolution for newer traders. Just three quick points that I want people just to keep in mind in considering that. One is that, January 1st is really an artificial date for people to make that move. So I think if you're going to make the move from sim to live, the real question you got to ask yourself is, are you ready? And I don't care if that's December 27th, January 8th, March 17th. That's the really important question. Don't get caught up in the New Year's resolution, starting a new year. I need to make this switch. Are you ready? And being honest and truthful with yourself if you are ready. And when you are ready, make the move. So that's the big thing, first step. Also, I think another thing is when you make that transition, you really need to be prepared for the psychological transition. That, I think, is for most people the thing that kind of smacks them in the face and is really the biggest adjustment. You need to be prepared for the emotional volatility associated with the financial volatility of trading real money. And thirdly, one of the ways to offset some of that emotional volatility, if you're first going from sim to live, is really try to trade very small size and reduce the financial risk. so that you could really just focus on making good trading decisions and you don't get all bent out of shape emotionally because of the dollars made or lost. So those are just some three quick little tips on moving from sim to live. And now, in terms of getting back to just how to set and manage your goals, a key thing here in goal setting is you really need a plan of action. Talk is cheap and talk is not good enough. You really need to break down your goals into process goals that really give you constant positive feedback to keep the motivation high. I often try to work with traders on modeling their behavior after elite athletes. You need to kind of develop this kind of championship mindset. Don't just think about the goals. Write them down, visualizing, accomplishing them. You can't just think about them. You need to take 3 steps forward. You need to set specific and realistic goals. You need to develop and commit to a clear path that leads towards each goal. You need to create a functional goal that tells you exactly where you start today and what you need to do to kind of reach that goal. Another important thing in setting and managing your goals is you really need to shift your attitude. You need to recognize the power of your own thoughts. And this shift in attitude really needs to go into one of kind of control and authority. That becomes very important. And like athletes, you need to develop a level of mental toughness. The ability to stay positive and continue to strive ahead even when you face setbacks, which are inevitable in trading, not just losses, but poor trading. So you need to really seek out the challenges and get comfortable with being uncomfortable with some of the aspects of trading that are difficult to deal with. That's the nature of a competitive environment. And so this mental toughness and this resilience becomes really important. Another thing is use a carrot, incentivize yourself. Or with others. You need to be really patient, and there is no substitute for practice. Time and energy and experience are hugely important. I can tell you as a long distance runner for many, many years, the advantage of doing hundreds, maybe thousands of long runs in my life is that in a race situation, there probably wasn't a situation, good or bad, problematic or difficult, that came up that I wasn't at least accustomed to based on the reps and the experience I got. So the more trades you see, the more experience you have, the better it is, but you need to be patient because you can't fast forward experience. And a key thing is also do your homework. Get a sense of what works and won't work regarding your goals. That's really important. Goal setting is friction is often a problem for people. When I say friction, usually that comes in 3 forms: distance, time, and effort. And so you need to kind of know what is getting in the way. Are you not making enough time for your goals? Or are you not putting in enough effort? Usually distance is not a big thing for goals like wanting to exercise. They found that if gyms are 8 miles away, people exercise less than if gyms are 2 miles away from their house. But a big thing here is use the buddy system. You have your BBT family. We're social animals, more likely to kind of achieve our goals if we tackle it with others. Accountability is taking ownership of that, and accountability to others can be really helpful. So I really encourage people to use the buddy system, use your BBT family members, cohorts to kind of be active in terms of that. So those are some of kind of the Mindful Monday tips on how to kind of set your goals. I think the next time in 2 weeks, because next Monday is a holiday, we'll dig into a little more specific trading goals that we can address.
Absolutely. Great info, Doc. Really appreciated both. Thank you for remembering about that question last week, too. I know that's important to a lot of people here. So thank you very much. Hope you have a great week and our 2 weeks, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Good enough, Norm. You and everybody have a good week.
Take care, you too. And that does bring up a reminder, everybody, next week is a holiday. Yes, it's MLK Day. So no markets, 3-day weekend coming up here.
All right, excellent. All right, guys, we have a pretty good list here. Let's thank you, Dr. Katz, for that. Always great to have him on. I mean, we look forward to these Mondays and get that those great tips from him. All right, so we have our list here. Let's start with Twitter. Twitter is good. Neo's looking good. I think Neo right now on my list, on my main list, is the only one that's gapping up. Everything else is gapping down and it's looking pretty nice. There's Myra taking a nice big hit in the last couple of minutes. Plug also dropping nicely here too with some good volume. Fuel cell as well. BA is not moving a whole lot. It got the first initial drop and not doing a whole lot at the moment, only down 3.7. So I like what I have on my list already in the main list. Let's look through our secondary list, see if we find something here that we like to move up. DDD is a good one. Apple is good. Baidu is looking good as well. GameStop, I personally don't like the way GameStop trades, so I'm going to remove it. They got great volume. Their pre-market action is okay. It's not great. Their daily looks a little bit better, but for me personally, I'm just going to get rid of this one. So let's drop that one. BNGO, I know this was active the last couple of days. You do have a great volume, 16 million shares. But when I compare this to what I have on the top, it's not worth moving up. So maybe just leaving here for now. Meso, I'm going to get rid of it. Get rid of that one. SRPT for the most part. This one, again, huge drop, possible continuation today. But this is one where you really have to watch your risk very, very carefully, your position size on this one. FTFTs, again, I'm going to remove FTFT. I have Mara up here. So again, think about all the Bitcoin stuff when you look at Mara or whichever one you prefer, right? Out of Riot, BTBT, who else we have? CAN, all those Bitcoin type plays. PLTR taking a bit of a drop here. That looks good. We'll keep that one. CCL. Someone said earnings. Is earnings coming up or they had? I don't think they had earnings, right? Maybe coming up. Is that what it is? Someone had mentioned it in the chat, but we'll keep it here for now. NVIDIA, a play with Neo there, so we'll keep that one. Baba is, okay, I'm going to remove Baba for now. Facebook, I'm going to watch Twitter, guys, although Facebook might be looking pretty good if we drop here. Yeah, let's keep that one. Let's scan through this again. DDD is okay. Apple is dropping now. Is the SPY dropping? A lot of stuff seems to be... no, it's not. It's dropping, but not a whole lot the way other stocks are dropping now. All right, so CCL has earnings today. Okay. SRPT, I'm going to remove this one. Let's get rid of that one. PLTR is good. CCL, yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good. Let's leave it. NVIDIA and Facebook. All right, I have a longer than what I want list here on our secondary list, but that's okay. We'll keep that on there for now because a lot of these are actually looking pretty good. Look at Apple now dropping there. That might be one to move up this morning. Let's do some levels. So we have Twitter, we have Neo, we have Mara, which is dropping nicely here. We don't have shorts for Mara. So I think someone probably mentioned that as well. Let's get rid of this one, at least remove it from there. So we'll move that one down. And I actually do like the way Apple is moving. So I'm going to move Apple up, guys, from our secondary list. Let's do that there. Okay, so that looks good. Okay, excellent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very good. All right, here, let's start with Twitter. So let's do some levels there. High of our pre-market sitting, guys, at 48.83. So we'll throw a level there. The low of the pre-market sitting down at 47.07. So we'll throw a level there as well. Going back into our daily, again, the daily chart here not looking all that great. I do see a great level right on. He has a lot of touches at 44.95. So that's a good one. In between here, maybe a minor level of support and resistance is this 46.29. You see a lot of touches there as well. Again, nothing major like you have on this 44.95. Look how great that looks. A very clear area of support. Clear area of resistance, 1, 2, and a couple of days here as well, then become support. So that's a good one. But this 46.29 does have a couple of touches here worth adding to our charts here. And then towards the top, guys, above our pre-market high, you do have the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Let's look at Neo. So Neo right now, pre-market high, we have 65.85, so we'll throw a level there. Obviously, that is all-time high, of course. And towards the bottom, guys, you have your highs and lows. Actually, let me remove some of these levels from last time we looked at this. So let's mark our pre-market high at 65.82. And then towards the bottom here, we have our highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. We can mark our pre-market low sitting at 60.28. And then in between here, in the pre-market so far this morning, you do have a couple of levels here. You have 62.94. That's a good one there. Area of resistance that broke out of nicely. Probably here you have another one, 64.35. Great resistance, comes back up and breaks the high of the pre-market for the next leg up. So that was nice. Having a hard time with 65.82. That is your all-time high right now in the pre-markets. Again, this one looking very good with some really good volume. 18 million shares, up almost 11%. So that's a nice one today. Here's Plug. Plug is taking a nice dive here, guys. So down now 9.3. High of our pre-market sitting at a 52. 40. So that'll be right over here. So we'll mark that there. Towards the bottom, our pre-market low right now at 48.28. So we'll throw a level there as well. Looking at our daily, if we zoom out of here, we don't have much to go by in the last couple of days. We only have, because we had this huge gap up 2 trading days ago, and then out of that, you really don't have much. And this was your all-time high here at a 56. So you do have your highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. That's really all you have there. You can come into your 5-minute and look at areas where you have a lot of touches. Maybe here, right there seems to be a good 150.33 area of support resistance. But other than that, you don't really have a whole lot to go by at the moment. So again, great pre-market action, great volume, down nicely this morning, and we do have shares for sure. Here's fuel cell. This one's very active. Low of the pre-market, 1381. And then towards the bottom, let's mark that down, 1381, just being created right now. Let's see if that's going to hold. Towards the bottom, you have the highs from the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Down here, the daily, it's okay. You can probably mark this level here at 1221. We'll throw a level there. And then towards the top, guys, highs and lows, previous day close got you covered there. Towards the top, let's look at our pre-market high. We can mark that down. That is going to be at 15 right in here as well. So pre-market is getting a whole lot better here on the fuel cell this morning. So let's hope that continues there. Here's BA again. They got some unfortunately horrible news of a plane crash. So at the moment they're down 3.9, 843,000 shares traded. At the moment 210 is your low of your pre-market, so we'll throw a level there. And then towards the bottom we do have a level right over here, 192.81. And then what else can we mark down here? That's pretty much it right now. Again, out of this daily here, this little island you have here, you can probably throw this level there, 178.92, kind of the support area of that. But for the most part, that 192.81 is going to be a good one today. And then towards the top, you do have your highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. So looks like you might want to come back down and test the low of the pre-market. Let's see what it does when it gets there. Here is Apple, guys. Apple very, very active. After 7 o'clock, the pre-market has really picked up here. After 9 o'clock, we're getting even more volume. So that's looking good. Right now, you're between your highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. I am going to mark down the low of the pre-market, so we'll throw it there at 129.62. We're getting a slight pullback. Let's see if that's going to want to get back to the VWAP or not. But below that, you do have the lows from the last 2 trading days right on here, around 128. And in between here, you don't really have a whole lot going on. You have the moving average right below this 129.62. Aside from that, there's not a whole lot there. Maybe you can put again, this is a minor level of support and resistance. It's going to be this 128.91. You can see that on there. That's a level of resistance there. You got a little bit of support from this day here from the 5th. So you can mark that there for now as well. All right, so that's what we have, guys. We have Twitter. Looking pretty good action on that one. Again, all the news going on. This is down 7%, 1.8 million. We have Neo, which is very active. Plug is looking good, continues to drop, might break that low of the pre-market. Fuel Cell, it's very active as well. Interesting daily. BA, we'll see how this news affects BA at the open. Again, be careful with this one, guys. Don't wait for it's so easy sometimes to look at a stock like this and you got the negative news behind it and have the bias to short. But just again, more importantly, wait for your setup. If your setup shows up and it happens to be a short play you could take to the short side, by all means do so. But again, focus on your setup, not so much on the news. As we talk about in our introductory class every Monday night, which is happening tonight. So make sure you join me and Mike for that class. Let the news create volume and volatility for you, right? That's what you want the news to do. That's what the news is supposed to do. And then from there, you look for your setup, you look for what's in your trade book, and you take that trade. Apple's looking good as well, and that is what we have, guys. Let's take a look at our moderator, see what we have on the moderator's lineup today. I'm gonna bring the visuals over here. Hopefully, you guys can see that. Yep. Okay. All right. Let's scroll up. Who we have first? We have. So Peter reporting no IPO scheduled for today. Some coming on later this week, so stay tuned for that. Thor is watching BA Twitter, BTBT. Again, this is a Bitcoin play here as well. Plug is looking good. And then secondary, Neo has a lot of volume as well. Peter likes Twitter, Neo, AMD, secondary, LLI, BNGO, Meso, and others to watch today. RAI, GameStop, FTFT, Mara, and FLMA. Tiffany likes Twitter, BA, Baidu, and secondary, Neo, and Tesla this morning. Eamon is watching CCL. They have earnings coming up later today. Neo, PLTR, secondary, Plug, SQ. SQ actually, where we're when we're talking to Dr. Katz, XQ started to get pretty nice here, guys. So I started to get pretty good here. So if you like SQ, definitely add it to your list. That's looking good. And he's looking at TLRY as well. John, high of day breakouts has Nvidia, Baidu, and Tesla. Jared has Neo, BA, Twitter. Secondary list is Facebook, and again, just kind of a sympathy play here. Not a sympathy play, but kind of that possible play here with Twitter also being getting hit pretty negatively here. Mike is watching Baidu and BA. Brian likes Twitter, DDD, BA, Neo, and he's holding some. He's over the weekend. He's held some for over the weekend on Neo. Oh wow, man, that is great. Nice, Brian.
Congrats.
Nice. Yeah, that's a great way to start your week. Looking at what it did today. And Go VX for fun. Andrew has our buddy Neo, Plug, Fuel Cell, and Twitter on his list. So again, guys, I think we had a pretty good list. I think our main list looks very good. Our secondary list has some potential as well. Looking forward to a pretty good day today. Just remember, guys, we are having our onboarding class today at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Just join me and Mike. And by the way, let's congratulate Mike. Mike completed. As I was cleaning my office to quarantine for the next 14 days, I found this here. Let me make that a little bit bigger because it's hard to see. And Mike is actually completing 1 year of. Let's see if that can focus in. Come on, you could do it. There you go.
There you go.
1 year of retirement. So just 1 year ago, that was the last trip I took. We went to celebrate with him with his squadron out there, and again, that was a lot of fun. And again, just thank you for your service, man. We really appreciate you, and it's an honor to have you part of this community. So I'm part of this amazing team. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us this pre-market show over on YouTube. We are going to continue in our chat room, prepare for the market open. Brian and Andrew are next. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. And again, thank you so much for all the messages you guys send me. Me and my family really appreciate it. Take care, guys.